My mom said to my face, "If you walk out that door, you're dead to me." She said that, looking me straight in the eyes, because I accepted a job in Texas instead of staying to bankroll every venture my brother took on whenever he decided to be an entrepreneur. But karma's a bitch. 2 years later, she showed up at my office in Austin begging for $50,000, and I looked her dead in the eye and said a beautiful no. But let me tell you this story properly, because the way my mom's been telling everyone in Smallville, saying I'm the selfish daughter who abandoned her family for money, the ungrateful child who forgot where she came from, that's her version circulating through the church prayer group, the library, every coffee shop on Main Street. Every story has two sides. But before I start, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and stick with me, because I'm going to tell you what really happened. My name is Sabrina Hayes, 32 years old. For 8 years, I worked as a marketing manager at Heartland Agricultural Supply in Smallville, Kansas. Population 12,000, where everyone knows your business before you do. I made $52,000 a year. Lived in a tiny apartment above Shaw's Pharmacy on Main Street, except I always helped everyone. To them, I was the family ATM. Ever since my dad, Gregory, died of lung cancer 6 years ago when I was 26, that's when everything changed. My mom couldn't work, never had actually. My brother Dexter, who's 27 and lives with her, worked maybe 3 months a year at various warehouse jobs before getting fired for not showing up. He's a freeloader. My mom always babies him, the golden child. So guess who got stuck with everything? I paid $15,000 in mom's medical bills over 3 years. Diabetes and hypertension that Medicaid doesn't cover completely. Paid $3,200 to fix the transmission on Dexter's Dodge Ram truck. Loaned him $1,500 to invest in an opportunity that never materialized. Never asked for it back. Never kept score, just quietly paid and hoped they'd appreciate it someday. Fool's hope. Then last March, I got a call from TechWave Marketing Solutions in Austin, Texas. They'd seen some campaigns I did for Heartland, viral stuff focused on the agricultural sector. The CEO, Marcus Brennan, wanted me as VP of Marketing. Salary, $180,000. 3.5 times what I was making. Plus equity. I was terrified, excited, guilty. Austin was 800 miles away. I'd never left Kansas except for a weekend in Denver 5 years ago. But this was the opportunity of my lifetime. The kind that doesn't come twice. I told Mom and Dexter, all excited, at Sunday dinner at the farmhouse. Thought they'd be proud. Thought they'd celebrate with me. Mom's face went white. Then red. Then she said, "So you're abandoning us. After everything I sacrificed for you, you're just going to leave your family for money." I tried to explain. It wasn't about money. Well, it was. But it was also about growth. About proving I could do more than sell fertilizer to farmers who've known me since I was 10. Dexter cut me off. Said he was counting on me to invest $30,000 in a landscaping business with some guy he knew in Wichita. Counting on it. Like it was already decided. Like my money was his money. "You're being selfish," Mom said. Her voice was cold. "If you walk out that door to chase your career, you're no longer my daughter. You're dead to me. Choose. Them or us." I stared at her, at Dexter nodding along like this was reasonable, and I felt something crack inside me. "I need to think about this," I said. "There's nothing to think about," Mom replied. "Family is family. Or it isn't." I left that farmhouse feeling like I'd been punched in the chest. Spent 2 weeks barely sleeping. Mom sent one text. "You made your choice." But I hadn't. Not yet. If you've ever had to choose between your own future and your family's expectations, you'll understand what I did next. Comment below if you've ever been called selfish for wanting more for yourself, because this story is about what happens when you choose yourself anyway. And trust me, it only gets messier from here. I accepted the job. 3 weeks after that dinner. Not because I was brave, but because I realized something sitting alone in my apartment at 2 a.m., staring at my phone. I was waiting for permission that was never going to come. My whole life, I'd been waiting. waiting for Dad to get better, waiting for Mom to appreciate what I did, waiting for Dexter to grow up, waiting for someone to tell me it was okay to want more. Nobody was going to give me that permission. So I gave it to myself. I called Marcus Brennan the next morning and said yes. He was thrilled, wanted me to start in 4 weeks. I gave my notice at Heartland that afternoon. My boss, Mr. Patterson, hugged me and said, "You're too talented for this place anyway, Sabrina. Go show them what Kansas girls are made of." That almost broke me. A man I'd worked for barely knew me better than my own family. I didn't tell my family. What was the point? Mom had made it clear. Walk out that door. I was dead to her. Fine. I walked out that door. Packing up my apartment was surreal. 8 years of my life fit into 12 boxes and 2 suitcases. I sold most of my furniture on Facebook Marketplace. When I gave my notice to Mrs. Shaw, who owned the pharmacy downstairs, she cried and said, "You've been like a daughter to me." That hurt more than it should have. The day before I left, my friend Megan came over. She'd been my best friend since high school, taught 4th grade at Smallville Elementary. She was the only person I'd told about the fight with Mom. When she saw the boxes, she just looked at me and said, "Your mom's telling everyone you stole money from her." I laughed. Couldn't help it. Of course she was. "Are you going to call her before you leave?" Megan asked. I looked at my phone. At Mom's last message, "You made your choice." "No," I said. "I'm not." Megan hugged me tight and made me promise to text when I got to Austin safely. She was the one person in Smallville who'd never asked me for money, never expected me to fix her problems. Real friendship, turns out, doesn't come with invoices. I left Smallville on a Tuesday morning in April, 5 a.m., loaded my 10-year-old Honda Civic and started driving south. 800 miles, 12 hours. I cried for the first hour. Then I stopped, put on a podcast about marketing strategies, and started planning my new life. Austin hit me like a wall of heat and possibility. My new apartment in Zilker was tiny, but had a view of Lady Bird Lake. Cost twice what I paid in Smallville for half the space. I loved it immediately. My first day at TechWave was terrifying. The office was all glass and modern furniture. People in their 20s wearing hoodies and expensive sneakers. I showed up in a blazer and felt ancient. Marcus introduced me to the team. 23 people, most younger than me, most from California or New York, and told them, "Sabrina's going to revolutionize how we approach B2B campaigns. She's done things in agricultural marketing that nobody else has figured out." I could feel them judging me. The small-town girl who'd somehow convinced their CEO she belonged here? Fine, let them judge. I'd prove myself. Turns out I didn't need to prove myself. My work did that. Within the first month, I launched 3 campaigns for TechWave's clients. All 3 went viral. Not Smallville viral, actually viral. Millions of impressions, thousands of leads. Revenue that made Marcus send me a bottle of champagne with a note. "Don't ever leave." I wasn't planning to. The thing about marketing is, most people do it backwards. They start with what they want to say and force it on people. I started with what people actually wanted to hear. Listened first, spoke second. That's what growing up in a small town teaches you. How to listen, how to read a room, how to know what someone needs before they ask. Ironic? Considering my own family never bothered to listen to what I needed. By month 3, Marcus promoted me to CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. At 32, the youngest exec at TechWave, salary jumped to $230,000. Plus that 4% equity I'd been promised. I called Megan that night. She screamed, "Oh my God, Sabrina! That's insane!" "I know. Are you going to tell your mom?" The question sat there between us. Heavy. "No," I finally said. Why would I? She didn't want me to succeed. She wanted me to stay small. Stay helpful. Stay available. Silence on the other end. "You're probably right," Megan said quietly. I was right. But knowing didn't make it hurt less. The thing is, success is supposed to feel good, right? You work hard, you achieve something, you celebrate, but I couldn't celebrate. Not really, because the people who were supposed to be proudest of me had made it clear they didn't give a damn, so I did what I do best. I worked harder, more hours, better campaigns. I became obsessed with being so successful that my family would eventually hear about it, not from me, but from someone else. From the world. 6 months in, TechWave got an offer from a venture capital firm. $50 million investment at a $500 million valuation. Series C funding. Marcus called an all-hands meeting and announced, "We're going public next year. Everyone in this room with equity is going to be very, very happy." I did the math that night. 4% of $500 million. If we went public, if the valuation held, $20 million. I sat in my apartment staring at that number. 20 million? From a girl who grew up in a farmhouse outside Smallville, who wore hand-me-downs, who worked at Dairy Queen in high school, who thought $52,000 a year was good money. And my family would never know. Because they'd chosen Dexter's $30,000 landscaping dream over my $180,000 reality. They'd chosen control over my happiness, so I chose silence over their validation. The IPO happened 14 months later, February. Stock opened at $38, closed at $52. My equity was suddenly worth $28 million. After taxes, $8.7 million in my account, $8.7 million. I didn't tell anyone. Not even Megan, just watched the number sit there in my bank app, watched it feel completely unreal. That week, I bought a penthouse in Zilker. Paid cash. 4,000 square feet, floor-to-ceiling windows, view of the entire city. Cost $2.3 million. I barely blinked. I was 23 months into my new life. No contact with my family except occasional Facebook stalking. Mom posted church stuff and recipes. Dexter posted memes about hard work and people who forget where they came from. The irony was thick enough to choke on. Then it happened. The thing I'd been waiting for without realizing I was waiting for it. Forbes published an article, 40 Under 40, Marketing Leaders Reshaping Tech. I was number 17. Full-page photo of me in the TechWave office. The article called me the small-town genius who turned agricultural marketing principles into a tech revolution. My phone exploded. LinkedIn notifications, emails from old colleagues, messages from people I hadn't spoken to in years. Everyone suddenly wanted to congratulate me, connect with me, tell me they always knew I'd make it big. Except the people who actually mattered. My family was silent for about 3 days. Then Megan called. Her voice was weird, tight. "Your mom saw the article," she said. My stomach dropped. "How?" "Carol Henderson from the church. Works at the library. She was reading Forbes and recognized you. Showed it to your mom after Sunday service." I didn't say anything, just held the phone waiting. "Your mom's telling everyone she always knew you'd be successful. That she's so proud. That families go through rough patches, but blood is blood." I laughed. Couldn't help it. Of course she was rewriting history. "Has she tried to contact you?" Megan asked. "Not yet. But I knew she would. Because now I wasn't the ungrateful daughter who abandoned her family. Now I was the successful daughter who could be useful again. Different kind of ATM, same transaction. The call came 2 days later. Unknown number, Austin area code. I almost didn't answer. But something made me pick up. "Sabrina?" A voice I hadn't heard in 23 months. My mother's voice. "Sweetheart, it's Mom. Sweetheart." She called me sweetheart. Like she hadn't told me I was dead to her. Like she hadn't sent that text saying I'd made my choice. "I'm here," I said. My voice sounded flat, distant. I saw the article. "In Forbes? Oh, honey, I'm so proud of you. We're all so proud. We..." Like she spoke for everyone. Like they'd all been rooting for me this whole time. I wanted to call sooner, but I wasn't sure you'd want to hear from me. Things got so complicated before you left. So much was said that shouldn't have been said. Things got complicated. That's how she framed it. Not, "I disowned you," not, "I gave you an ultimatum." Things just got complicated. Like a weather event. Nobody's fault. Why are you calling, Mom? Silence then. Because you're my daughter. Because I miss you. Because I want to see you. 23 months of silence. And now she missed me. Now she wanted to see me. After Forbes put my picture in a magazine, I can come to Austin, she said. Or you can come home. To Smallville. Everyone would love to see you. Home. She called it home. Like I still had one there. Let me think about it, I said. Of course. Take your time. But Sabrina? I love you. I always have. She hung up. I sat there holding my phone, staring at it like it might explode. She loved me. She always had. Just not enough to support me when I needed it. Just not enough to choose me over Dexter. Just not enough to believe I could succeed. But now? Now that Forbes confirmed I was worth paying attention to? Now she loved me. I called Megan back. She called, I said. What did she say? That she's proud. That she misses me. That she loves me. Do you believe her? That was the question, wasn't it? Did I believe her? Did it matter? I don't know, I said. But I'm about to find out. I didn't respond to Mom right away. Let her sit with the silence the way she'd made me sit with it for 23 months. Fair's fair, but I knew she'd call back. And she did. 3 days later, this time with a different approach. Sabrina, honey, I need to talk to you about something. It's about Dexter. Of course it was. He's been struggling. Lost his job at the warehouse again. The truck finally died completely. He's trying to start that landscaping business, but he needs capital to get it off the ground. Capital. She used the word capital. Like she'd been reading business magazines. Like she was pitching me an investment opportunity. How much? I asked. 30,000. The same amount he mentioned before you left. He has a real plan now, Sabrina. A business partner. Equipment lined up. This could really work. 30,000. The same number that had been thrown at me 2 years ago as if it was already mine to give. As if my money was family money. As if I didn't have a choice. And Mom's having health issues, she continued. The diabetes is getting worse. New medications that insurance won't cover. The house needs repairs. Roof's leaking. Furnace is acting up. I've got about 12,000 in medical bills piling up. I did the math. 30 plus 12. $42,000. But she wasn't done. And honestly, I could use some help just getting by. 8,000 would cover my living expenses for a few months while I figure things out. 30 plus 12 plus 8. $50,000. She wanted $50,000. The same woman who told me I was dead to her if I left. Who sent that text saying I'd made my choice? Who spent 23 months telling people I stole from her? Now she wanted $50,000. I know it's a lot, Mom said, her voice doing that thing it always did when she needed something. Soft, vulnerable, like she might cry, but you've done so well, sweetheart. That article said TechWave went public, said you had equity. I know you're probably doing very well financially. And I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important. Family helps family, right? Family helps family. The same line she'd used my entire adult life. The same line she'd used to justify every request, every expectation, every demand. Let me think about it, I said. Of course. But Sabrina? Dexter really needs this. And I'm not getting any younger. These health issues are serious, she hung up. And I sat there in my penthouse apartment, the one that cost $2.3 million, holding a phone and feeling nothing. Nothing but clarity. She didn't call because she missed me. She called because Forbes told her I was worth calling. She didn't call because she loved me. She called because she needed me. Still needed me to be the ATM, just with a bigger withdrawal limit now. If you've ever questioned whether someone loves you or just loves what you can give them, you know exactly how I felt right then. If you've ever realized you were just a checkbook to your own family, because what I did next, well, it deserves a like, even though most people would call me heartless. I called it justice. I told Mom I'd think about it. And I did. For exactly 4 days. Not because I was debating whether to give them the money. I knew from the moment she asked that I wasn't giving them a dime. I was debating something else entirely. Whether to tell them the truth or let them keep thinking I was just doing okay. Whether to show them exactly how successful I'd become before I said no. Part of me wanted to stay silent. Wire them nothing, block their numbers, move on with my life. Clean break. No explanation needed. They'd made their choice 2 years ago. I'd made mine. But another part of me, the part that had spent 8 years being the family ATM, the part that had paid $15,000 in Mom's medical bills and $3,200 for Dexter's truck and $1,500 for his failed investments, that part wanted them to know. Wanted them to understand exactly what they'd thrown away when they gave me that ultimatum. Wanted them to see the number in my bank account and realize they'd chosen $30,000 of imaginary landscaping money over a daughter who'd become worth $8.7 million. Petty? Maybe, but I'd earned my pettiness. Paid for it in full. I called Megan on day 3 of thinking about it. "What are you going to do?" she asked. "I'm going to tell them no." Good. That's the right thing to do. But I'm going to tell them in person. I'm going to go to Smallville. I'm going to sit down with Mom and Dexter and tell them exactly why they're not getting a penny. Silence on the other end. "Are you sure that's a good idea?" Megan finally said. "No, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because that's the thing about closure. Sometimes you don't get it from the other person apologizing or admitting they were wrong. Sometimes you get it from looking them in the eye and saying what needs to be said. Whether they hear it or not, I texted Mom on day 4. "I'll be in Smallville this Saturday. We can meet at your house, 2 p.m., just you, me, and Dexter." Her response came back in under a minute. "Thank you, sweetheart. We'll be here." "Can't wait to see you. Can't wait to see me?" "Can't wait to see my checkbook," she meant. Can't wait to see if I'd drive 800 miles to hand over $50,000 to the family that disowned me. I packed a bag that Friday. Not much, just enough for an overnight stay. I'd drive down Saturday morning, have the conversation, stay with Megan that night, drive back Sunday. Quick trip. Surgical strike, Megan called Friday night. "You're really doing this." "I'm really doing this." "Do you know what you're going to say?" "I've got a pretty good idea." "Sabrina, they're not going to take it well." Good, they shouldn't. I didn't take being disowned well either. She laughed. "Couldn't help it." "Okay, fair, but call me after." "I want to hear everything. You'll be the first call I make." I left Austin at 6 a.m. Saturday. Drove north through Texas into Oklahoma, then Kansas. 800 miles of highway and cornfields and thinking about what I was going to say. Rehearsing it in my head. Editing. Refining. Making it sharp. By the time I pulled onto Route 36 towards Smallville, I knew exactly what I needed to say. And exactly how they'd react. And I was ready for both. I pulled up to the farmhouse at 1:55 p.m. The place looked exactly the same. White paint peeling on the porch. Dexter's dead Dodge Ram sitting in the driveway like a monument to bad decisions. The screen door that still squeaked. I sat in my car for a minute. Hands on the wheel. Engine off. Just breathing. This was it. The moment I'd been building toward for 23 months without realizing I was building toward it. The moment where I got to say everything I should have said 2 years ago when Mom gave me that ultimatum. I got out of the car, walked up the porch steps. The wood creaked under my feet the way it always had. Some things never change. I knocked. Heard footsteps inside. Then the door opened and there was Mom. Looking older than I remembered. Grayer, thinner. But her eyes lit up when she saw me. Not with love, I realized. With relief. With the kind of joy you feel when the person with the checkbook finally shows up. "Sabrina!" She pulled me into a hug. I stood there, arms at my sides, not hugging back. She didn't seem to notice. "Oh, honey, you look amazing. Austin's been good to you." "It has." Come in, come in." "Dexter's in the living room." "We've been so excited to see you." I walked into the house. Same furniture, same smell. Coffee and something vaguely floral Mom always used for air freshener. Same family photos on the walls, including one of me at high school graduation. She'd kept that one up at least. Dexter was on the couch. He'd gotten heavier. Beard grown out scraggly, wearing a John Deere cap and a t-shirt with holes in it. He stood up when I walked in, tried to smile. Hey, sis. Dexter. We didn't hug. Just stood there awkwardly until Mom gestured for everyone to sit. I took the armchair. They took the couch. Like we were about to have a business meeting. Which, in a way, we were. So, Mom started, already doing that thing where she clasps her hands together nervously. Thank you so much for coming. I know it's a long drive. It is. And thank you for considering helping us. I know we haven't been in touch much the last couple years, but 23 months, I said. It's been exactly 23 months since you sent me that text saying I'd made my choice. She blinked. Looked at Dexter. Back at me. Well, yes, but that was a difficult time. Emotions were high. Families go through rough patches. The important thing is we're here now, together, and I'm not giving you the money. The room went silent. Mom's mouth hung open mid-sentence. Dexter straightened up on the couch. What? Mom finally said. I'm not giving you $50,000. Not 30 for Dexter's landscaping business. Not 12 for your medical bills. Not 8 for your living expenses. None of it, but you said you'd think about it. You said you'd come here I came here to tell you no in person. To your face. The way you told me I was dead to you to my face. Fair's fair. Mom's face went white, then red. Sabrina, that's not fair. I was upset. I said things I didn't mean. But we're family. Family helps. Family, I cut her off. You keep using that word? Let me tell you what family actually means. And then I told them everything. Family, I said, means being there when it matters. It means supporting each other's dreams even when they're inconvenient. It means loving someone for who they are, not what they can give you. Mom opened her mouth to respond. I held up my hand. I'm not done. You asked me here. Now you're going to listen. She closed her mouth. Dexter shifted uncomfortably on the couch. 2 years ago, I got the opportunity of my life. A job that would triple my salary. A chance to prove I could be more than the girl who sold tractors to farmers in Smallville. And I came here, to this house, and shared that with you. Excited, hopeful, wanting your blessing. My voice stayed level, calm. That surprised me. I thought I'd be angry, but I wasn't angry. I was just done. And you, Mom, you told me I was abandoning you. You said if I left, I was dead to you. Dexter said I was selfish. You both made it clear. My success was a betrayal of this family. My ambition was an insult to you. The fact that I wanted more than what Smallville could offer me was proof I didn't love you enough. Sabrina, we were worried about you. Mom tried. Moving to a big city, leaving everything you knew, you weren't worried about me. You were worried about losing your ATM. Because that's what I was to you. Not a daughter. Not a sister. A bank account. Someone who'd pay your bills and fix your problems and never ask for anything back. Dexter finally spoke. That's not fair. I paid $15,000 in Mom's medical bills over 3 years, I said, looking right at him. I paid $3,200 to fix your truck. I loaned you $1,500 for an investment that you never paid back. I paid $800 in your traffic tickets. In the 8 years after Dad died, I gave this family over $20,000. Not loaned, gave. And not once did either of you say thank you. Not once did you acknowledge what I was sacrificing to help you. The silence was thick, heavy. But that wasn't the worst part, I continued. The worst part was when I finally got a chance to build something for myself. You made me choose. You gave me an ultimatum, your love or my future. And when I chose my future, you made sure everyone in Smallville knew what a terrible daughter I was. How I'd stolen from you. How I'd abandoned my family for money. I never said you stole, Mom started. Carol Henderson told Megan you said exactly that. Multiple times. At church. At the library. You rewrote history to make me the villain so you could be the victim. And you know what? I let you. I drove to Austin and built my life and never looked back. Never called. Never visited. Never corrected your lies. I leaned forward in the chair. For 23 months, you didn't reach out to me once. Not on my birthday. Not on holidays. Nothing. And then Forbes published an article about me, about how successful I'd become. And suddenly, 3 days later, my phone rings. Suddenly, I'm sweetheart again. Suddenly, family matters. Mom's eyes were watering. Dexter was staring at the floor. You don't love me, Mom. You love what I can give you. And Dexter, you don't even pretend. You just expect it. Expect me to fund your business ideas and fix your messes and be available whenever you need something. But here's what you both need to understand. I stood up. I don't need your approval anymore. I don't need you to be proud of me. I don't need you to love me. Because I've built a life in Austin where people value me for who I am, not what I can pay for. Where my success is celebrated, not resented. Where I'm not just the family ATM. I walked toward the door, turned back. So no, you're not getting $50,000. You're not getting $50. You're not getting anything. Because the daughter you had? The one who would have given you anything? You told her she was dead to you. And you know what? She is. I walked out of that house, got in my car, drove away, didn't look back. My hands were shaking on the wheel. Not from anger, from adrenaline, from the weight of everything I'd just said finally lifting off my shoulders. I made it 3 miles before I had to pull over. Sat on the side of Route 36, hands gripping the steering wheel, and just breathed. In, out, in, out. It was done. Finally done, my phone buzzed. Text from Mom. How could you say those things to me? After everything I've done for you. I deleted it. Blocked her number. Then I blocked Dexter's number. Clean break. No going back. I drove to Megan's house. She took one look at my face and pulled me inside, put a glass of wine in my hand before I even sat down. How'd it go? Exactly like I thought it would. Except better? I told her everything. Every word I'd said. Every expression on their faces. When I finished, Megan was quiet for a long moment. Do you feel better? That was the question, wasn't it? Did I feel better? Yeah, I said, I do. Not because I hurt them, though I'm not going to pretend that didn't feel good. But because I finally said what needed to be said. I spent 2 years carrying around everything they'd done to me. Now it's not mine to carry anymore. It's theirs. They're not going to see it that way. I know. They're going to tell everyone I'm a terrible person. That I came home just to hurt them. That I'm cruel and heartless and forgot where I came from. And I don't care, let them. Their opinion of me stopped mattering the moment they chose their pride over my happiness. Megan raised her glass. To choosing yourself. To choosing myself. We drank. Talked for hours. Ordered pizza. Laughed about stupid things from high school. She told me about her kids, her husband, her 4th grade class. Normal life stuff. The kind of conversation you have with real family. The kind you choose, not the kind you're born into. I drove back to Austin the next morning. 800 miles of highway and processing. By the time I pulled into my parking garage, I felt lighter than I had in years. Not happy exactly, but free from guilt, free from obligation, free from the weight of trying to earn love from people who'd never intended to give it unconditionally. The next few weeks were quiet. No calls from Mom or Dexter. I'd block them anyway. Megan texted occasionally with updates. Apparently, Mom was telling everyone I'd shown up, flaunted my money, and refused to help out of pure spite. Dexter was posting on Facebook about family betrayal and karma. Let them. I had work to do. TechWave had just signed 3 new clients. Marcus wanted to expand the marketing department. I threw myself into it. Hired 4 new people. Launched campaigns that broke our previous records. I also started volunteering with an organization that helped first-generation professionals navigate family pressure during career transitions. Mentored young women from small towns who wanted more than what their hometowns could offer them. Told them it was okay to choose yourself. Told them about boundaries and self-worth and the difference between family that lifts you up and family that holds you down. 6 months after that conversation in the farmhouse, I got an email. From Dexter. The subject line said, "I'm sorry." I stared at it for a full minute. Then I deleted it without reading. Because some apologies come too late. Some bridges burn for good reason. And some people will only apologize when they realize the ATM really isn't coming back. I was done being anyone's backup plan. A year after that day in Smallville, I got a promotion. Chief Growth Officer. Salary jumped to $350,000. My equity stake doubled to 8%. I was 34 years old and worth over $15 million. Forbes did another article. This time I was number 8 on their 40 under 40 list. They called me the marketing prodigy who turned tech disruption into an art form. I didn't hear from my family. Not even a congratulations text. Good. I preferred the silence. But something unexpected happened. I got a friend request on Facebook from someone I barely remembered. A woman named Patricia Hayes, my mom's cousin. We'd met maybe twice in my entire childhood. She sent a message with the request. Sabrina, I know we don't know each other well, but I wanted to reach out. I heard what happened between you and your mom, and I wanted you to know you're not crazy. You're not cruel. You did the right thing. I stared at that message for a long time. Then I accepted the request and wrote back, "Thank you. That means more than you know." We started talking. Patricia told me things I'd never known. About how Mom had always been controlling. About how she'd driven away most of the family over the years with her expectations and manipulations. About how everyone walked on eggshells around her because crossing her meant becoming the villain in whatever story she'd tell next. Your dad used to buffer it, Patricia wrote. He'd smooth things over, keep the peace. After he died, there was no one to check her anymore. And Dexter? Well, he learned from the best. It was validating in a way I hadn't expected. Not that I needed validation. I knew I'd made the right choice. But knowing I wasn't alone in seeing the dysfunction, that helped. Life moved on. I bought a second property in Colorado, invested in 2 startups, traveled to Japan, Barcelona, the Greek islands, dated someone for 6 months before realizing we wanted different things. Ended it amicably. Focused on work, on friends, on building the kind of life I'd dreamed about. When I was 26 and terrified to leave Kansas 2 years after the confrontation, 4 years after leaving Smallville, I ran into Mr. Patterson at a marketing conference in Chicago. My old boss from Heartland Agricultural Supply. He saw me across the room and his whole face lit up. Sabrina Hayes. I heard you've been taking over the tech world. Trying to, I said, smiling. We grabbed coffee. He asked about TechWave, about Austin, about everything I'd been doing. Then he said something that stuck with me. Your mom came into the store last month, asked if I'd heard from you. I told her I hadn't. She said, he paused. She said you'd become someone she didn't recognize. That success had changed you. I thought about that. About whether success had changed me. It did, I finally said. It changed me from someone who accepted being used to someone who demands respect. From someone who waited for permission to someone who takes what she's earned. If that makes me unrecognizable to her, good. It means I'm finally recognizing myself. Mr. Patterson smiled. For what it's worth, I'm proud of you. You deserved better than what this town could give you. I'm glad you knew that. Thank you, I said, and meant it. Do I regret cutting off my family? No. Do I wish things had been different? Sometimes, but I learned something important sitting in that farmhouse 2 years ago. Love without respect isn't love. Support with conditions isn't support. And family that only values you when they need something isn't family. It's a transaction. I chose myself. Chose my future. Chose freedom over obligation and peace over guilt. And I'd make that choice 1,000 times over. My mom said I was dead to her if I left. Turns out, I'm more alive than I've ever been. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever had to choose between people who claim to love you and the life you deserved, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away. And to everyone still waiting for permission to choose yourself, this is it. Choose yourself.